Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video. I'm Sick Finance, and today we're going to be talking about CleanSpark CLSK stock again. The reason I call myself Sick Finance is because I tested positive for the Rona yesterday. So I'm not feeling the greatest this morning. I just to update you guys, I woke up. It was a little hard to breathe, but as the days progress, that's gotten better. And I feel like I have enough energy to fork out this video right now. And I feel the need to after a day like today with CleanSpark. So I have a lot of stuff to share with you guys. I'm really excited to do so. This video, I probably won't edit very much because, again, I don't have much energy, so I'm just going to record this and upload it. But if you guys enjoy this type of video, just let me know down in the comments section below, and I'll do more like it where I don't really edit myself and I just talk to the camera. Other than that, I know that the CleanSpark bashers are going to go down and leave a dislike on this video. But again, I ask you to be nice to me because, dislikes while I have COVID, it's not cool. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, to start things off, I want to mention that this video, I'm not going to be covering CleanSpark's earnings report. I will be covering the main concerns with CleanSpark right now, which isn't necessarily the recent earnings report. But if you guys want to hear my thoughts on the recent earnings report, I did a members-only video yesterday. I was going to upload this publicly, but I couldn't bring myself to do it. I didn't have enough energy to do it. But I uploaded it for my members only. If you guys want to hear my thoughts on the earnings report, just go to the community tab on my YouTube channel, and then you can join the membership through Patreon for free. And if you cancel right after you watch that video, I don't really care, but that'll get you access to that video if you want to hear my earnings thoughts and reaction. But again, in today's video, I'm just going to be covering the main concerns with CleanSpark right now, which happens to be the bonuses that the CleanSpark executives received, and also the premise that the management team does not care about shareholders. So those are the main two things I'm going to be talking about today. This morning, I ran a poll on Twitter, and I asked, should I make a video today talking about CleanSpark executive compensation? 291 votes, 89% said yes, so it's safe to say this video is in high demand. So I expect at least 290 likes down below, right? But anyways, if we scroll through these comments, this is where I want to start with this video. I'll just address some of the questions and the comments people left on this tweet. First of all, I want to say thank you to Isaac. I really appreciate this comment. I get a lot of these comments, more comments than the hateful comments, and it means a lot to me when you guys take time out of your day to say nice things. But we had Killer Rose ask, my biggest question is, why wouldn't they explain the reasoning on the earnings call? It's almost as if they tried to just say it quickly and hope that no one would notice. And that's in regards to the executive bonuses that were given out. And my answer to that is that these bonuses actually happened quite a while ago. And the only reason they're being brought up right now is because the share price is down significantly. So I don't think they were trying to cover it up or slip by quickly, hoping people wouldn't notice or anything like that. This happened a long time ago, and the bonuses, for the most part, were given out based on incentives. And in my opinion, the main incentive that the executive team reached was profitability as a company, because if you remember last quarter, they were profitable, which makes sense why they'd be given all of those bonuses. Also keep in mind, they get these bonuses for the company performing well. That's what incentive-based compensation is. So if the company performs well, they get paid handsomely. That's the way it should be. Now, that doesn't mean the stock price is necessarily performing the greatest, right? Because sometimes the stock price and the way the company's performing can drastically differ. But we know over time that valuations always matter, and eventually, if it's undervalued, the valuation will catch up to what the company's doing, and if it's overvalued, the vice versa happens. But that's my answer to that one. Then we have Peter Wang talking about the executives lining their pockets, all this stuff. I'll dive a little bit deeper into this. The only other reply to this tweet that I really want to cover is this one by Jeff Hansen, who said they're waiting on the chess move management has alluded to several times, and he doesn't feel like investors matter a whole lot to the management team, and he says he's not new to this, meaning he's not new to the investing game, and this is all fair. This is all fair, Jeff, but my rebuttal to this is literally I don't know a single other public company out there that gives the retail investor a direct line to one of the executive members. Literally, the investor relations phone number contact listed on CleanSpark's investor relations website is Matthew Schultz's personal cell phone number. He wouldn't give out his personal cell phone number to retail investors if he didn't care about the retail investor. That's my main rebuttal to that, but again, we're going to dive a little bit deeper into both these things, both the bonuses and the greedy management that people keep talking about. And I know this morning on Webull, people want me to justify the bonuses, which I will try and do. Just to preface that, I can see both sides of this. Really, what the big deal is that the bonuses, the timing was pretty bad. But so I can see that side of things. Like if you just recently got into CleanSpark, you got into CleanSpark when it was over $20 a share, I can see that. But coming from a guy like myself who's been buying CleanSpark from $4 a share, I also can see the management side of things here. If we go to CleanSpark's stock chart, and I'll bring this up on Google really quick, we can see that last year, I should better go to the 5-year view, but last March, the stock was trading at less than $1 a share at one point in time. So you have to remember that would equate to roughly a less than $20 million market cap on the company. That's pretty ridiculous, right? Considering that in just from March until whenever we peaked in early January, the company went from a $20 million company to a $1 billion company in a matter of months. On top of that, the company reached profitability. So I guess this is my justification for the management team right now. They have done shareholders very, very well. Now, again, I'll repeat, I can see the other side of this as well, where people are a little bit skittish on this and they think management's being greedy. But I also want to mention that the bonuses are not the reason the stock price is down today. The stock is down 15% or whatever it was today alone, but that's not the reason the stock price is down. Again, these bonuses were announced several months ago at this point, and it's just, in my opinion, it's kind of FUD in a way. It's not false FUD because it's factual that they gave out a lot of money in bonuses, but it is FUD, and I see a lot of bears, I guess you could say, bringing this up, that the executive team's just lining their pockets, the shareholders being hurt, all this different stuff. But you have to remember that, and you can look at this, you can Google this, as public information. You have to remember that this executive team and the board of directors primarily all take share-based compensation. So literally their income and net worth depends on the share price of CleanSpark stock because their payment is in CleanSpark shares. So whenever you think that the management team doesn't care about the share price, whatnot, their income and their net worth literally depends on the price of the stock. So I can guarantee you right now that the management team probably wants the share price to go up even more than you do. And the share price falling is not the management team's fault. I know a lot of people might disagree with me. But, I mean, have you seen the rest of the market? The rest of the market's behaving the same way, where lots of stocks are down at least 50%. Obviously, CleanSpark's down a little bit more than that, but the market as a whole has been very, very brutal. This isn't management team not executing. This isn't the management team being greedy, lining their pockets. This isn't the management team, being scammy. I don't know what you want to say. This is broadly market conditions. That's the reason the share price has fallen. And that's just it. And you can look at several other different companies out there, and you'll find that. Most of the high-flying growth stocks are down 50% plus from last year's highs, or early this year's highs, I should say. But anyways, let's go ahead and look at today's performance, and this is really interesting to me. So we had 8.45 million shares of volume today, meaning that many shares traded hands. Whenever you get that much volume, it generally means, well, it does mean, it doesn't generally mean it, it means that institutions are trading shares. Retail did not trade 8.45 million shares today. Just didn't happen. A lot of that was institutions. And what we saw today was very, very interesting, where we dropped initially at the market open, to be expected. The margin calls people have to cover, the panic selling, retail shorts. I mean, think about it. Yesterday after hours, the stock was down 13% or whatever it was. So anybody online seeing a stock down 13% after hours, and they see that they just reported earnings, they see that as a good opportunity to short the stock and place a short bet on the company. And I think that's partially what happened at the open today. But then shortly out thereafter, we recovered quite a bit. before falling a little bit back down and consolidating for 4 hours or so, I would say. But then all of a sudden, something clicked, and the share price started to really start to roar higher. Now, we still finished the day down 15%, but this is much more reasonable. It's still over-exaggerated to me personally from that earnings report. Again, if you want to hear my thoughts and reaction to that earnings release, go to the community tab on my YouTube channel and join the Patreon. Feel free to cancel right after you watch the video. It doesn't matter to me. But something flipped with the shares today, and I felt this was going to happen. I said this in the Discord server. I felt that the bears and the shorts, the sellers, probably were running out of steam because today we had the SSR activated. The SSR means that you can only short a stock on the uptick, so if the price of the stock goes up, you can place a short, but you can't continue to hamper down on the stock as the share price continues to fall. And by the way, we'll have that SSR in effect tomorrow as well. The threshold for that is minus 10% on any trading day. But we had that. In the morning hours, I felt that the margin calls probably were all taken care of. The panic sellers, the weak hands had all sold out. And the retail shorts that placed their shorts had, for the most part, probably already placed their shorts midday. So we had 8.45 million shares traded. Lots of this was in the afternoon hours after the share price started to recover. So what that tells me is that this wasn't retail money that pushed the stock higher, although I know a lot of us out there, myself included, were buying more shares of CleanSpark actively throughout the day, especially in the 10s I was. But this wasn't retail investors that pushed this back higher. This was institutions buying shares. And I think we'll be able to see that on our FinTel, CleanSpark FinTel. I think you'll be able to see that in the coming months. I think institutional ownership is just going to go up even further. But whenever you see something like this, where with this much volume, and for the most part, since the opening bell, the share price going higher by the end of the day, generally means that institutional buyers started to outweigh the sellers in general. Now, I'm not saying that there weren't institutions that sold, because there definitely were. I mean, there were 8.45 million shares traded. But what I'm saying is that the institutional buyers outweighed the institutional sellers by quite a large margin. So really what's happened today, in my opinion, is you got rid of all of the remaining weak hands that were still clinging onto their CleanSpark shares by a thread. You got rid of them all. I mean, we're down 15%. If they had any thoughts about selling, surely they did it today. Down 15%. So all those shares are gone. Guess who was buying those shares? The people that were buying the shares were people like you and me, with long-term investment horizons with CleanSpark. We know where the company's going. Nobody can really convince us differently. I haven't seen one legit bear thesis, honestly, that has even made me consider changing my tune on the company. So I guess what I'm trying to say is the theoretical float, so meaning the available shares to be traded on any given day, decreased pretty dramatically today. You had the institutions buying up the shares from the retail short sellers, the panic sellers, the weak hands, all that stuff. You had institutions with long-term investment horizons buying up those shares. You had people like me buying up those shares with long-term investment horizons. So looking at this, it's hard for me to believe that we haven't bottomed today, or at least soon, just based on the fact that we saw today buyers start to take over this with lots and lots of volume. Buyers started to outweigh sellers. At a certain price point, it's going to happen. Think about it. You're probably not going to pay $1,000 for an old clunky iPad. But as the price comes down, if they're offering it for $300, $200, well, then you might really consider it. So it's the same thing in the stock market, right? Where at a certain price point, buyers are going to outweigh the sellers. And I think we've hit that point today. I could be wrong. This is not investment advice. This is just my own thoughts, opinions, and ideas. But that's what I believe to be true right now. I also wanted to talk about I wanted to dive deeper into the thought that management doesn't care about shareholders. I've already covered this earlier in the video, but again, most of the executive team and the board of directors is taking primarily share-based compensation. So I'll just review this. their income and their net worth largely depends on the price of CleanSpark. They want the share price to go up. We also know that the phone number listed on CleanSpark's investor relations page is the executive chairman's personal cell phone number. If a company didn't care about shareholders, they wouldn't bother listing their personal cell phone number on their investor relations website. Also, think about it. How many other companies out there have actively replied to your investor inquiries like CleanSpark has? I know personally, anytime I have a question and I either email, call, or text Matt, he gets back to me really, really quickly. Most times when I reach out to an investor relations team, it takes a long, long time for them to get back to me, if they ever get back to me. So the management team cares. That is a fact. The management team also wants the share price to go up. That is a fact. Those are indisputable. So I hope that kind of clears things up. I'll reply to as many comments as I can get to in the comment section down below. If you have any more questions from me or concerns about CleanSpark right now, I'll be prompt in answering those. So feel free to leave a comment down below. But I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover today. If you guys are new here or returning and not yet subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out a lot. Also hit the like button down below if you enjoyed this video and this type of content. With that, have a great rest of your day. I'll hopefully be back with a brand new video tomorrow. But yeah, with that, have a great rest of your day and peace out.